Happy Monday, Coast Life, and not just any old Monday, it's Cinco de Mayo, so enjoy a margarita for us.
There you go.
You know, we're getting close to that happy hour. We're your hosts of Coast Life. I'm Leah Rizzo.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. And what kind of weekend did you have, Leah?
I had an amazing weekend. Despite the rain on Sunday, Saturday was just the perfect day. I got up early, I went to the historic Lewis Farmers Market, I shopped around, I supported local businesses. Everybody was just so friendly and nice, and I was like, this is the best day ever.
That's the perfect kind of way to spend a Saturday, and I had a split weekend. You know, we had the great Saturday. I was out there at the Lewis British Car Show.
Yes.
Christina DiRobertis was there with
How was
me.
that?
We were judging cars. It was fantastic. And along the lines of what you did at the farmers market and what I got to do this weekend, I do want to encourage everybody, if you're not getting out of the house and going to some of these events,
You got to.
You just got to get out of the house and go. Like, you never have a bad time, especially on a nice
so alive.
day.
Like, I felt
You're
like I
gonna-
was truly living.
You're going to meet some great people. You're going to have some good conversations. Like, I don't know a ton about cars. It was fantastic to be at the car show. Everybody I talked to had a great story to tell about their vehicle, about, you know, why they got into this.
Yeah.
One guy I talked to was like, I've had this car since 1968. I've known it longer than I've known my wife.
Nice.
Like, you just get these great anecdotes from all these people. And the same thing over at the farmers market.
That's right. That's why we're here, to tell you about all these amazing events going on around town and to encourage you to get out of the house, especially on a beautiful day like it was on Saturday. Especially because we had that breeze too, so like it was hot, but you didn't feel like it was hot.
I needed the breeze because we were in suit coats out there judging, so like that breeze was nice. It really made a difference.
I did some roller skating. I even got a tan line. Like, Saturday was the best day in a long time. So hopefully you got a chance to get outside and enjoy it. But if not, don't worry. There's plenty to get to here on Coast Life today.
And if you're going to enjoy next weekend, you might need to be focused on one day specifically.
Oh, yes.
Do not forget this day. You will be in the doghouse of all doghouses.
Any bells going off yet? Yes, don't forget this weekend is Mother's Day. And if you haven't planned the perfect gift yet, we're here to help you with that too. Because as it turns out, what a lot of moms really, truly want, and if they answer this way, they are answering honestly.
They need it.
They mean it when you say, what do you want? And they say, a day off and a day to myself. None of you guys. Maybe you do a little breakfast in bed moment and then you get mom out the door. Give her a gift card to do some shopping. Let her have her day to herself, because what moms don't get is really any of that me time. I think there really is a difference in the amount of time that mothers get to themselves and that anyone else in that household gets to themselves, because women do tend to take on a lot of the domestic chores, the scheduling. I don't know how many guy friends I have where I'm like, hey, should we hang out? And they're like, let me check with my wife because she knows the schedule. And I'm like, well, give me her number.
And that part's the key part right there, guys. If you are trying to do something nice, taking away the decision-making process, making it so she doesn't have to.
Yes.
It's one thing to say we're going to give you the day off, but it can't be giving you the day off and then being like, but can you plan everything
what's
we're
for dinner?
gonna do?
If you give her the day off and have the audacity to ask her what's for dinner, no.
She has to have the freedom to not think about what's going on with everybody else so she can enjoy some me time. Yeah. And to an extent, that requires the significant other in that situation to be competent enough that she's not worried about what's going on with the kids or the this or the that. She doesn't have to worry that they're going to get fed, going to get put in bed correctly, that all those things. So take everything off of her plate and give mom some her time, some what she might refer to as me time.
Yes, and even if you don't want to get her out of the house, you can take the kids out of the house and go to the zoo together, go to the beach, go do something fun together, pick an easy all-day event, pack some snacks. So if mom wants the house to herself, that's what she can have. That's our advice for you.
Yeah, give her some peace and calm so that she can just, maybe read a book, maybe a spa day, or maybe just sitting on the couch catching up with some trashy TV she hasn't gotten a chance to.
Yep, and then maybe pick up a pizza or whatever her favorite dinner is on the way back home from your day spent with your kids. Because again, like you said, as long as she doesn't have to choose what's for dinner, we'll eat anything.
Try to maybe get something you know she likes.
Try something you know she likes, but the not having to decide, not having to cook, not having to worry about it. So don't have to ask her any childcare related questions that day unless it's a must emergency. And I think you're going to find yourself in a pretty good spot celebrating Mother's Day. That's all I'm saying.
And then maybe the next morning,
Yeah, right.
make the bed, which takes us into our next topic, because
It does.
apparently this is an important thing for certain people to do.
It can be good for you too, because making the bed is one of those things that makes us feel better because it's sort of building that healthy habit. You know, if you get out of bed and it's doing the same thing, but like first thing you do every morning, you feel accomplished. You know, you're like, oh, I did something today. And it puts you in the mindset to kind of keep doing stuff that day that maybe tend to fall to the side.
It's one of those low-hanging fruit things
Yes.
where you can check this off the list.
It's like brushed my teeth.
You've started your day. You've accomplished one thing. Yeah, brushing your teeth too,
Right.
whatever. Like the little things you need to do in the
The little
morning.
things you always do, but you count it as something that you did different that day.
Well, but not everybody does it all the time. So it is, even if it seems easy to do, it is an accomplishment. It's something that you can get done.
Yeah.
And it's something that can, as you pointed out, kind of set the tone of the
Mm-hmm.
day. Like, I'm going to have a day where I get things done. Here's the first of those things. Now let's keep adding to the list.
I'll confess, I'm a terrible habit builder, and I'm not really the type that makes my bed every morning. I'm really not. But I also, like, I can see how it would be so helpful, because I have become the person that hits snooze, and I don't know how to break this habit. I've been trying so hard. Even on Sunday, yesterday, I was like, I wrote a little note to myself, like, gonna be a good person on Monday and not hit snooze. And what did I do this morning?
Bah, bah, bah.
You guessed it, and I was so mad at myself. So I know that habits can be hard to build, especially those healthy ones, and the baby steps probably help you make it a little bit easier and better. So try it out. Let us know if making the bed goes in your favor in building those habits.
And this kind of goes to, everybody has different habits that they try to do. It can be as simple as getting up, grabbing the paper, having a morning coffee. That can be a good habit. Maybe taking that 10, 15 minutes to look at a few things, set your mind, get ready. For me, it's getting up early, feeding my cats, then going to the gym. Like, I like to do my workout before I go into work based on my schedule these days.
Yeah.
And you know, it just having something to set you off on the right foot really does make a difference with how you approach the rest of your day. It makes work a little bit easier. It gets you in the right frame of mind so that you can be effective when you're at work. And then hopefully it means once you get home, if you've made the bed and everything already, you come home to something that's already kind of reasonably in good shape. You don't feel like, oh, I gotta take care of all these things now.
I understand all the reasons why people are effective in the morning at taking those steps, and why it's helpful on the back end of your day. Because when you get home from work, you're also like, you know what I don't feel like doing? Making my
the
bed,
bed.
or working out, or doing any of the things that would have been easier to do when I first got out of bed, but I hit snooze, so I couldn't. So if you have any tips also on, and I know really the end, ultimately it's just don't hit snooze and get out of bed. But if you have any tips to maybe trick your mind into making that work for you.
I will say this though, leave a little room for balance in all things,
Yes.
right? There are days when you just need the sleep more than you
sure.
need the other things.
For
So
sure.
give yourself a little bit of grace, but do your best to maybe, if you want to try, if this is something you haven't
Help a
been
gal out.
doing, if it's something you haven't been doing, you go like, maybe if I can get that 3 out of 5 days this week,
Yeah.
that's a good goal. And then maybe next month we'll try to do 4 out of 5 and
All right.
see if you can work on up to it.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Charlie. And if you guys have any tips for me, also let me know. So we're here to help you, though. We've got lots to get to, more things happening around the area. If you do have still some Mother's Day things to work out, we'll also get to some of that. So let's see what's coming up today on the show. Nobody wants to struggle with food insecurity, and our mail carriers are helping us end hunger and stamp it out.
Every boy needs a diamond, had my field of dreams. Hey, hey.
Plus, we're going to have some wicked tunes from Stephen O'Boyle. He's got a nice pop country sound. You won't want to miss it.
And if mom is a lover of the theater, we've got some details on Steel Magnolias and the performance that Second Street Players will be putting on in Milford this weekend. Grab the tissues. All that fun and more is coming up today on Coast Life.
Coast Life is sponsored by BB Healthcare, Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, Preston Automotive Group, Shell Brothers, and the Parker Group.
Well, we've talked about how some of our neighbors, we might not know this, but they could be struggling with food insecurity. And we know that nobody wants to think about that. It's a difficult concept to wrap your mind around sometimes, but we all want to help our neighbors when and where we can. And a super easy way to do that, because we also know that you're an incredibly busy person, is to stamp out hunger. We've got Caitlin Ball joining us, a letter carrier, and you guys have something really cool going on, and it's really simple and a great way that people can give back to the community and help feed our neighbors that might be struggling with food insecurity. So tell us a little bit about the opportunity to stamp out hunger.
Well, as you know, we do have our food drive, our local food drive, Stamp Out Hunger. It happens on the second Saturday of May.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, second Saturday of May of every year. So it's easy to remember.
Yes.
But yes, so mind you, every post office and every city across the country will be participating in this.
Awesome.
This Saturday, the 10th, I believe it is, May 10th. So mind you, this week, everybody will be receiving, you'll probably see these flyers hanging around all over your city. And then we also we'll be delivering these bags with a little card as well. Earlier this week, you should have them no later than Thursday.
Gotcha.
But what we are asking everybody to do, if you have any non-perishable foods, we would love if you could just throw a couple cans, maybe some cereal or anything. You can set these outside at your mailbox, or on top of your mailbox, in your mailbox, around your mailbox. We will come and pick up all your food. Yes, we will come and pick up your food. And if you don't have any non-perishables with these bags, there is a QR code, and the food will. Whatever donation you do make goes directly to the city that you live in. So all the food that is collected in your city, all the donations that come from your zip code goes directly back into your community. So that's really important.
That is really important. I know a lot of people like to hear that because, like you said, this is a national drive.
Yes.
But all of the food that your mail carriers are collecting are staying right here in our area and feeding our neighbors, feeding our community, which I know that feels good for a lot of folks. So if you are making the couple last minute grocery trips, either maybe pick up a little something for somebody else, or go through your cabinets and you're like, you know what, we're probably not going to touch those. Throw it in that blue bag. So like you said, people should be on the lookout for that no later than Thursday, and they just bag it up and they leave it out for you.
And everything helps. You don't really realize how much this food really can impact your community. People year round, especially with all the different cuts going to the food bank and everything. This is really important. This is our 33rd year of doing this. So if we can just keep it going strong, that is our goal. We're just trying to help everybody who is less fortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Caitlin, for you, is this something, it's a little different for your daily routine, but it's kind of fun.
You definitely get a workout.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. You get a workout, but it's so helpful, and it's so great to see the community come out. We get to talk to a lot of people. Sometimes if you look at the end of the day when the mail trucks go back full of food, normally it's full of packages, now it's going to be full of food. But that's our goal this year and every year.
Fantastic. So for folks who want to participate, just remind them all they have to do again is be on the lookout for that blue bag, right? And
Yes,
pack it up.
ma'am, yes. And if you have any questions, look for these signs or look for the bag. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask your local carrier if you have any questions. And even if you might have missed the date, feel free. We can always, if you come after the date, we can still donate the food. So just anything you have any questions with, we can get the food.
Fantastic. Well, anything else that you want to remind our viewers for when it comes to helping stamp out hunger?
Just make sure you put when you do get the bags. Now, mind you, I know in outside of Delaware, we got these sponsored. So outside of Delaware, maybe not a bag, but any way you can just keep the food in like a secure place, and preferably non-perishable food like cereal, rice, canned goods, anything like that is better because we never know what the weather's gonna be. So
True. Very true.
But yeah, anything that is gonna be the most helpful for us.
Fantastic. Well, Caitlin, thank you so much for coming in
Thank you for
today.
having me.
And thank you so much for all that you guys are doing to help our neighbors that might be struggling with some food insecurity.
Yes.
Of course, of course. Well, coming up on Coast Life, we're headed to the theater. A heartstrings play for sure, but one that you're not going to want to miss the details of. That's when we get back. Well, the performing arts are always celebrated here along coastal Delmarva, and in so many great ways with so many great performances. And one story that you may or may not be familiar with is that of Steel Magnolias. We've got two very special guests joining us on the Coast Life couch today from the Second Street Players. We've got Becky Kraft, director of the show, and we've got Kat Baker, who is one of the actresses in this performance. And Steel Magnolias is such a great story that I know a lot of people are familiar with, but for those who aren't familiar with it, could you tell us, Becky, a little bit about this story and what attendees to the show can expect?
Well, actually, Steel Magnolias is a true story. The author's name is Robert Harling, and it's a story about his sister, whose name in real life was Susan. In the show, it's Shelby.
Yes.
And Shelby's life, her relationship with her mother, but more than that, it is the story of a small town group of women settled in the beauty shop, telling stories, laughing, crying, supporting, a little bit of everything. People should expect to see these wonderful relationships that have developed over the years, and will have laughter, but they'll also have tears.
Yes.
The story is very poignant about the mother-daughter relationship, as well as the support that we get from our chosen family, our community, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful story.
It really is a beautiful story, and I think it is it takes a village personified on the stage right there. So Kat, for you, tell us a little bit about the character that you're playing and how you've kind of brought her to life.
Well, I'm playing Malin, which I will say is a total thrill.
Yeah.
There's not many shows I would be willing to travel for or a part, and this is both, either to be in the show, but also to get the part I really wanted. That was very exciting. Malin is Shelby's mom, for those who know the show. And first, I think to really bring her to life, to get her character, it was getting into her voice. Because we're all Louisiana, we're very Southern, but we're still proper women. And
Most of us.
Most of us. And it's kind of finding those beats. The thrill with being in the show too, which made it simpler for me as far as the village, as far as the girlfriends, they already were. I know these ladies. I've worked with them with other shows. There's been some delights, including our producer, Ann, who I've never known before. I've never worked with this theater before, so it was a first. And but as far as finding the character, I am a mom, so I was able to find, obviously, the love I have for my children. I'm a girlfriend, the love I have for my girlfriends, and the family we choose for ourselves. And so I just think it's such a universal story, but those emotions, those feelings, who we are as women, I think anyone can relate.
I think so too. I mean, it really is it's a story of womanhood and girlhood just as much as it is about the ups and downs of life. And relying on those friends. So Kat, you also said this is your first time with Second Street.
Yes, it is.
How do you like it? And for folks who it may be their first time joining you for a show with Second Street, why would you encourage them to come out?
Well, I would certainly encourage anyone to come out. It's a delightful theater. I have seen several shows there. I've been friends with obviously many actors on their stage, and we always go to support the arts and the patrons, and to do all that, or to be a patron of our friends. And but it has been such a welcoming, embracing experience as an actor who's never walked on. I mean, even the first time I stood on stage, it was like, wow, this is really different. And but I found the people that are surrounding us, tech-wise, behind the scenes, certainly on the scenes, the theater itself, it is very, very embracing. And I will say, if no one's been to Second Street before, it's time to come to Second Street.
Yes, you're missing out.
And see this show.
Fantastic. For both of you, is it a challenge to take a story like this that, people are familiar with the film, they're familiar with the actresses in it? How do you, use that maybe as a launching point, or how do you do things differently? What are the challenges, and why is it also exciting to maybe work with something that's a well-known piece?
Well, that's one of the blessings of a show like this, because we all have those neighbors,
Yes.
So each of the women in the show have their own very distinct personality, and that was my comment about, well, we're all, gentle women. This is actually the second time I've directed this show, and I was in it back in the early 90s. And so it's kind of fun to watch that morph because everybody does it a little bit differently. So it's really beautiful to watch all of the women in the show who go from the demure, businesslike Malin, to the socialite Claire Rhee, who's played by Gina Schuck. We have a wonderful cast. I was truly blessed. We had an amazing number of people audition, and it was just a blessing to be able to work with these ladies.
Fantastic. Good to hear. All right, so we know that everybody's hooked. Everybody wants to come out and see the Second Street Players put on Steel Magnolias. When can they do that? What are the show dates?
We open this Friday, run for 2 weeks. Performances start at 7 o'clock. I guess I should have known that coming into it. And 7 o'clock on Fridays and Saturday, and Sunday's matinee starts at 2, I believe. It's a beautiful little theater. It's comfortable. It's just a great little theater, and they can come see it for 2 weeks, starting this Friday, 2 weekends.
Fantastic. Well, we'll give people a minute to map out their calendars, maybe take Mom for Mother's Day. It would be beautiful and heartbreaking, but a wonderful gift to take Mom to go see that. And it's just, you're going to walk away. It's a profound story, so you're going to love it. Well, thank you guys for coming in today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So much.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Coming up, though, on Coast Life, we always love chatting away. We've got more things to get to when we get back.
You're watching Coast Life with Leah Rizzo and Charlie Sakaitis.
How often does it happen to you when you get a catchy little tune or jingle stuck in your head and you're just singing it over and over and over and over again? Does it happen to you often, Charlie?
It's happening to me right now. It happens to me all the time, so yes.
Well, according to a new study, they say that those earworms that just dig their little claws in and won't leave your brain could have something to do with our habits. Could mean that you're more inclined to repetitive habits like foot tapping or kind of repeating numbers or counting numbers in your head.
Foot tap, I don't count numbers.
I don't think I'm not really much of a counter. And I maybe I repeat words.
Maybe not as much foot tap as
yeah, I do the leg shake for sure.
Move,
oh yeah,
I do that a lot. But I think that my specific version of this comes straight from using TikTok a lot.
Yeah.
Because you flip through there all the time. There's only so many sounds that are catching on at any one given moment, and so you'll see one a couple of times, and then you'll be at work, you'll be at home, you'll be walking under the trail, and you're like,
as long as you cannot help it.
Just deep in the brain, tugging at your cerebellum.
Yeah, I remember when that kid that sang the Nationwide jingle, but really loud and really dramatically, and we could not stop singing it around the office. And I know people were like, could you not? Because you would hear us go, Nationwide, and it just you couldn't.
Yeah, I have from the Righteous Gemstones. They have a song where it's like, "Mama told me not to, I did it anyway, Miss B." Hey, and it's just on a loop. They're the only words of the song.
It's always that same part. Yes.
So.
I told you my worst nights of trying to sleep are when, for some unknown reason, Brick House will just creep into my brain and will not let me sleep. And I'm like, but why? And I do find that maybe even because they say it sort of falls into repetitive habits. And I know that I am a song repeat listener, that I will listen to the same song until I have killed it. And I'm like, that was fun. Good thing I really liked that one.
So I don't do that though, and I definitely have this problem. So it could be a contributing factor for you, but it is not for me, and we both get these songs stuck in our heads.
Well, and I wonder if there's any sort of similarity between if you get the same song stuck in your head all the time, or if it's different, just you heard a catchy song and now you're now it will not let you.
And sometimes it's because it's a thing you listen to. Sometimes it'll be you'll hear the Muzak version of a song at a grocery store, and then that's stuck in your head, and you're like, thanks for that gift.
Right, yeah. So I'm definitely prone to earworms latching on, but I'd have to dig deeper. I'd have to reflect a little more about them.
Does it give any advice on how to get rid of them?
It doesn't really. I know sometimes we're the only way to get rid of the song is to play it, and sometimes that seems to work, but
I don't know. I think that just keeps it more in my head.
Mostly I think it just kind of keeps it more in my head too. So.
All right, well, moving on to other problems we can't solve. Email.
Oh, yes. Have you ever just been scrolling through your email and then you get that one of, just checking in, and sometimes it's the subject line, but most of the times it's just that first line in the message, and you're like, oh, oops. They say that that is actually the worst phrasing to receive in an email. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if it's the worst phrasing. I think it's it's annoying to get it, but usually you're getting it because you have forgotten to respond to something or not seen something. So I think what makes it a bad title phrase is just it makes you go like, what did I forget now?
Yeah.
Or at least for me,
it's very passive aggressive.
it's generally when it is on me that I get that kind of email. Like,
oh, 100%.
and just checking in, that thing I asked you 4 times for, did
week
you
ago.
send it over? You didn't yet? Could you please get to that?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I hate because it does feel passive aggressive, and I'd rather you just say, hey, did you get to that thing that I asked you to do already? But I don't know that I would say it's the worst. I feel like
it's an attempt to slow walk it so that you're not just being like,
yeah,
hey,
you're only really
do
in trouble.
that thing.
You're only really in trouble when you get the per my last email, and you're like, uh-oh, it's over for me.
Well, per my last email means that you are in a full-on work fight with somebody.
That's right.
Like there's just like that is just work speak for put them up. We're going. This is us in the streets. Per my last email, swing. In case you didn't see it, swing. Those 3 emails I sent you before, swing, swing. Like that's what you're doing.
Oh, it's so true. We thought those were something fun for you. Maybe bring that home to the dinner table with you. The earworms. Per my last email, or just checking in.
So let's ask our viewers. Number 1, give us the song that gives you the worst earworm. Number 2, what is the one phrase that you get in a work email that just makes you go, oh man.
I'm not gonna do it. You can let us know, team@coastlife.com, or you can always chime in on our socials. But we've got plenty more Coast Life to get to. There's more fun headed your way.
Oh, it's another day down here at Mid-South Audio. We always love when we get into the studio space, and we have a special guest for you today. Stephen O'Boyle, how you doing, man?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
Love the entire outfit, the vibe, but for our viewers at home, can you tell them a little bit, you're a singer-songwriter, what can they expect with your music?
A party. I want to play songs where Friday night you want to come out and you want to dance. I play all country music. Some of the music that I play is going to go back all the way till George Strait, Merle Haggard, Dolly Parton, and up to the present day, Lainey Wilson, Morgan Wallen, Shabuzi, and Post Malone's been a big help for me.
And we were talking before we started rolling here. You've got some new stuff that you're just now working on. What's that process like?
For me, it's very easy. These songs are about life here on Delmarva. They're about life with the family. And at some point in your life, you turn yourself to art and turn yourself to religion. And I think that's what all of this is.
When did you turn to art? When did that really change for you?
Well, I'm an art teacher at Indian River High School for 23 years. And I've been playing music, drawing, and painting since a little kid. That was something that was instilled in us as a child. And I wouldn't trade it for the world.
And then, obviously, clearly you must have the artistic side for that, but for the music, when did you really start getting out there, performing the way you are now, and trying to build a bit of a following?
As a country singer, it's been 1 year. My very first gig was from a guy named Roger at the Sky Bar, downtown Ocean City. He had some trust in me, and he set the stage for the rest of the year, and I think this year we're playing a little over 100.
100
shows and
100
gigs.
shows in 365 days. That's a lot of different shows. When you say it's a party when people come out to see you, we want to know what it's going to feel like.
Country music, for me, it just, every single song that I hear tells a story. So if you're coming, there's a whole bunch of entertainment. And the way people interact with the music is what really drives me to do it. Whether they dance or whether they sing along or they're just enjoying a drink on a special evening with their significant other, I feed off of that energy every single time.
Well, we can't wait to hear you. What's this first song you're going to give us?
So this first song's called Country Enough, and this was me trying to deal with my own ego and am I country enough to sing country music? And I just think back to the time that you spent on the dock, and some of that imagery is still in my head as a child. Maybe you're checking crab traps and catching little bluefish and spot off the dock, and as you get older you're going hunting and you're learning how to supply and feed your family. And I think that's where a lot of this comes from. It's just thinking back to childhood and the way we live here in Delmarva.
Well, I can't wait to hear it. Let's go.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, get on. Mesh netting minnows, catching crabs in the creek. I was sun up to sundown every day of the week. I played the hardest of them all, so it seems. Every boy needs a diamond, had my field of dreams. Hey, hey! God gave me wheels for legs, you could not slow me down. I'd have tore apart this world, and if it wasn't for the sound of Dollar Straight, Cash in Denver, the real ones I can still remember. And I'd hammer every string, and I love to sing the King's top thing. Amarillo by morning, if it wasn't for the Queen, and I never know Jolene. Rest in peace, Toby, you're the one and only. I'll smash that cash, maybe I'll walk that line. So Buffett, oh lordy, how a pirate looks at 40. Yeah, I love country, always made me feel like I'm sipping on a cold beer singing wagon wheel. Got me an old 6-stringer Gibson hummingbird. Sang Merle Haggard on the vinyl, I knew every dang word. And I'd hammer every string, 'cause I love to sing King's top thing. Amarillo by morning, if it wasn't for the Queen, I never know Jolene. Rest in peace, Toby, you're the one and only. I'll smash that cash, maybe I'll walk that line. Some Buffett, oh lordy, how a pirate looks at 40. And I'd hammer every string, and I love to sing King's top thing. Amarillo by morning, if it wasn't for the Queen, I never know Jolene. Rest in peace, Toby, you're the one and only. I'll smash that cash, maybe I'll walk that line. Some Buffett, oh lordy, how a pirate looks at 40.
Stephen O'Boyle bringing that party with him. We're going to have more coming up from Mid-South Audio right after the break. We got another song for you here, and this one seems like a lot of fun.
Got a body like a battle axe.
All right, we're going to get out of the way so you can take it all the way to the end. Here we go.
To the beach, it's the sea she craves. I teach her how to send it and ride big waves. Snags a nice set, I see her smile. Happiest I've been in a long, long time. She got a body like a battle axe, with the angel voice that she don't hold back. Hot as hell, but she cut me no slack. Pops off that wave and I see her looking back. She tryna give me a heart attack, waiting for her to paddle out back. Stronger than a lumberjack, sweeter than a Cracker Jack. We go downtown and we surf the sunsets, catching long lines that she'll never, ever forget. Full moon rising, I ain't holding nothing back. I wanna squeeze it tight in that bright moon lighting. I kiss them lips, but the sun starts blinding. Moonlit walk, tide starts rising. Sleeping on the beach, she got me stargazing. That girl's smile is so amazing. She got got a body like a battle axe, with an angel voice that she don't hold back. Hot as hell, but she cut me no slack. Pops off that wave and I see her looking back. She tryna give me a heart attack, waiting for her to paddle and back. Stronger than a lumberjack, sweeter than a crackerjack. I said I'm standing on the shoreline, always looking super fine, up and down the Atlantic coastline. She's so salty, she's so fine. I said I'm standing on the shoreline, always looking super fine, up and down the Atlantic coastline. She'll never be mine. She got a body like a battle axe, with the angel voice that she don't hold back. Hot as hell, but she cut me no slack. Pops off that wave and I see her looking back. She tryna give me a heart attack, waiting for her to paddle and back. Stronger than a lumberjack, sweeter than a crackerjack. Oh.
Stephen O'Boyle, everybody. If that's not a Delmarva vibe, I don't know what is. Great to hear from you.
Thank you, brother.
Go find his music. You're going to love it. We got more Coast Life coming up next.
This segment of Coast Life is sponsored by Kids Catch.
Well, Coast Life, you know, on Mondays we like to brighten your day with some laughs, something a little cheesy for you, make you roll your eyes and go, ugh, but it's all in good fun. And today, we have a very special celebrity guest joining us for our joke jar, thanks to our friends at Kids Catch. If you watch our sister show, Delmarva Life, you may be familiar with this face. We've got James McDonald joining us. And James, I hear that you're kind of Delmarva Life's funny man.
Well, you start off, you said celebrity. I mean, I'm not even like in the B. I'm more of like an X or Y type celebrity here. But thank you for having me. Yeah, I am kind of Delmarva's funny man. You know, I've always said, and I think maybe you know this as a kid, I've always wanted to tell jokes. And in some ways, this is true right now, which we're about to do, right?
There we go, live that dream. So we're gonna let James tell me the jokes and see if we get any, if I can A, guess the answer, and B, if not, if we get some sort of reaction, because we know that the point of the joke jar is generally that the jokes are not great.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Fire away, James.
All right. Well, Leah, I've seen you do stand-up comedy, and I saw you had a set. So I made a set list of my own here. All right.
Okay,
So
okay.
here's my opener here. Where do surfers go for an education?
Wave school.
You're on the wave there with school. Boarding school, Leah. Boarding school. All right, how about this one? What did the beach say to the tide as it came back in?
Hi. No. Hi.
You're getting there. Long time no see.
Oh,
Long time no see, Leah. All right.
High, like high tide. Oh, so sure too.
How about this one? Why is summertime camping not for the faint of heart?
The bugs.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't know.
These are hard. It's intense. It's intense.
No. I should get these.
How much time do we have here? Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, we got time.
All right, let me give you my closer here.
Okay.
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, right? Yeah, his summer wasn't all that bad either.
He had a great fall. Those were good, James.
Thank you.
I think the joke jar is well suited for you. Don't forget, you can have all kinds of fun at Kids Catch, whether you're looking for games to play with the family. Maybe you could play a little bit of Mad Libs. We know that they have those there, and that kind of falls into the joke telling category.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Well, James, thanks again for being a part of our joke jar today.
Thank you, Leah. This was a ton of fun.
Keep an eye out for this guy on Delmarva Life, but for more, you can keep an eye out on us for more Coast Life. That's coming your way. Well, as always, Coast Life, we hope you've had a good time hanging out with us. We always enjoy hanging out with you. And if you are looking for something to do tonight, you can head on over to the Developing Artists Collaboration and their creative market happening in West Rehoboth. Mother's Day is this weekend, so maybe you want something different, unique, creative to get for her, or maybe you yourself are an artist and you have some questions. This is going to be a great way to get out in front of the folks that run it and see what the DAC is all about. So that runs until 7 o'clock tonight. It's actually happening right now, so if you want to head over there, you can. And otherwise, well, that's pretty much it for us. Thank you so much, as we said, for hanging out with us. We love hanging out with you. Charlie is downstairs.